Welcome everybody to another one of our Friday interviews, Heal, Hydrate Faster. And I am so excited to have one of the first, I think that one of the reasons why I jumped into Kangen Water so quickly was because, remember, we talked about it like almost at the exact same time. You were like, oh my goodness, like you're getting into Kangen. And I was like, if Audra is interested in Kangen, then, and I just kind of jumped in. And then you joined me in January, and I'm so excited to have you on board because, you know, I'm passionate about business and I'm passionate about amazing products. And obviously I love this water, but you have a list of credentials as long as your arm. So for everybody that's not doesn't know you, Audra, and you are now going to be, I know, speaking more frequently in this group. So everybody's going to get to know your face. In fact, I'll save that little prophecy that Jim gave over you about your name being known kind of worldwide. But Audra is a holistic health practitioner. She's also a registered nurse. She's a member of the American Holistic Nursing Association. And she wants to share with you why she chose Kangen because of the research that she had stepped into in looking at water. And you do some really interesting things with water. So Audra, I want you to totally relax. We've got till 15 minutes till about 2:20. And take it away. What made you excited about water? And what I'm also going to do for anyone in the Water Collective group, I am going to bring that up on my phone so I can check and see if you have any questions. But in the meantime, let me pin you, Audra, and tell us why you got so excited about Kangen.
Well, so I am a holistic health practitioner. I opened Restoring Eden about 1.5 years ago, and it is a comprehensive holistic health and wellness center. And I do bioenergetic testing, and I utilize structured water to imprint frequencies into, because we are electric beings, we're hydroelectric beings. So being hydrated is essential for the therapies that I utilize to work optimally. So with bioenergetic testing, I send and receive frequency information to and from a biological sample, or you can come to the office and I can do it here. I am able to do that testing with a sample, so I can do it for anyone around the world, really. And it is, and I have the ability to identify frequencies and frequency signatures that are imbalancing the meridians. So the meridians are energy pathways, and they require you to be hydrated to work optimally. And within the cell is actually a battery, and within the cell is structured water. It's water that's like in a honeycomb pattern. It's a 3D, three-dimensional pattern of water, and it is woven through with collagen fibers, and collagen is actually a triple helix. It's with a glycine component and other proteins that are within that. But when you're hydrated, those electrical impulses are able to travel probably faster than the speed of light. I don't really know, don't quote me on that, but it's incredibly fast. So in order for that to happen, hydration, right? It's key. It helps the batteries of our life. It helps fuel our batteries. So when I found out about Kangen being structured also, and being small enough to enter the aquaporins of the cell, that is super hydration. And then to add to it, it contains molecular hydrogen, microclustered molecular hydrogen, which is a reactive oxygen scavenger. It's an antioxidant, but it's selective. So it doesn't overdo it. So you're not going to overdo your molecular hydrogen. And so that is incredible. And I know that you have the breakdown of how antioxidant, how many blueberries and all of that, that it is, but just the fact that you can drink your antioxidant and you can hydrate your cell was really exciting to me. And that it is a machine that lasts a long time. And even though it seems like a really expensive thing to purchase to begin with, it can last up to 30 years. So the investment in your health and the investment in having it right in your home is huge. And because a lot of the things I do are a little bit different, like the bioenergetic testing, and I have a biocharger, which actually increases the voltage of your cells. And with this water, it also does that. It can lend itself to increasing the voltage of your cells. So it works synergistically with a lot of the things that I do. And because people can't really go out and buy a biocharger, they can drink the water. And I've added a section to my website, Bring Restoring Eden Home. And I have a lot of things that I do here that can also be purchased at home for a lot less than coming here and utilizing or buying all the things that I have here. So for anybody who's interested in doing that, Restoring Eden for Natural Health.com is where to go. And another thing that I do here that water is essential and hydration is essential is I have a gym, and our muscles are piezoelectric, which means that they are a battery too. And when you move them, they create water and energy, and they structure the easy water within the cell as well. So there are things you can do to increase your body's ability to be more electric because of the easy water within the cell. And grounding is one of them. Using infrared is one of them. So I have a sauna also, which has far mid and near infrared that can help structure the water within the cell. So if the cell is hydrated, it is able to take the water within the cell and structure it. So it expands that water within the cell, which potentiates the energy that you are able to have and utilize in your body. Also, I have a salt room, and that is, salt is actually hygroscopic. I had to look at the word. I forget that word. And it actually holds water. So being hydrated is essential for maximizing your benefits in that room. So the water within your lungs, it actually cleans the contaminants out. It helps to loosen the mucus and open the airway, decrease inflammation, and help you breathe better. And I've had a lot of good results out of that room. But hydration, is key to that. So I recommend, I have a machine in my office, and I recommend my clients drink it. And I have glass. I like drinking the water in a glass container. You can actually see those microclusters. And we talk about drinking the cloud, right? You want to get as much of the benefit out of that water as possible. So you hit it right from the tap. And really cool thing with a biocharger, it's a multi-energy, subtle energy platform that has PEMF, Tesla coil. It has frequency information using Rife technology and photonic light. We are also light beings. We carry a particle of light within our cells. And if you bring your water into that room, you can actually charge it with the frequencies because water holds memory. So that's a really cool. Yeah. And if it's structured already, I mean, and this is theoretical as far as I'm concerned with your water being charged with Kangen, if it would hold it even better. My guess is it would, because water does hold memory. And so that comes back to the point where, when I was thinking about what machine and what should I get, the partial electrolysis of the water erases the memory of the water. So you don't have to worry about, well, was this water sitting in, estrogen rich, psychotropic drug rich, pooling, dead water? Was it, you don't have to, if you know about the memory of water, you don't have to worry about that because it erases the water's memory, and you can imprint it with the frequencies that you want to. Sorry, that was a lot.
I mean, get a Kangen, everyone. You
can tell the difference when you drink it, the way that you feel, it doesn't make you feel sick. because I say drink a lot of water. I'm always telling the kids drink water. You know, they love the Kangen water. I have a 12-year-old who I will bring my freshly made 9.5, and I go home and she's like, "Can I have a sip of your water?" And she just sucks it right down. I'm like, "Thanks a lot," until we get a machine of our own at home, which is on its way, by the way.
Yeah,
she drinks my
if
water.
You're feeling like you have to buy one machine, Audra actually has 2 machines, and this, you can see Audra's heart, because when Audra bought your machine in January, the place that you took that was to Restoring Eden, and that just makes me realize what an incredible heart that you have, because you gave that to your clients before you brought it home to yourself, and then you lugged the water home for yourself, and that's just amazing.
Yes.
Oh, I'm getting emotional. So this is why I love this Kangen Water Collective. I love the team that we're on, because we're all able to bring something different to the group. And Audra has blessed us today with this knowledge. You know, like when I first met with, we met many years ago, but when we first met about Kangen Water in person, she was like, "Is this easy water? Is this Dr. Pollock's water?" And I was like, I don't know, it's just this really good water, and I've been drinking it, and you know, there's no aches and pains in my body, but you have all, this is a water that you've researched. It was an answer that you were looking for, and now I say to everybody, we're aging backwards. I mean, this is no makeup on this face. And,
I literally just went outside because my tenant downstairs, who has a craft store, she came up and she wanted to chat with me about a signage. So I went outside, and actually going outside in the sun builds and swells our easy water within our cells. So that was really good. So I went outside, and she's like, "Audra, do you color your hair?" I'm like, "No." She's like, because I did have a lot of, and this is just, you know, my personal experience. I'm not saying the water is going to change your hair color. I'm just saying she noted I don't have the grays that I had. I'm getting a little closer so you can see. My hair is dark, and I used to have a lot more gray, and my eyebrows, I used to pluck the gray hair sprayed out of my eyebrows. But now they're not coming up. So I don't know what's going on with that. I can't claim that the water's doing it, or I do a lot of things. And anyway, she noticed that I've looked different. Yeah, it could probably be that. Well, the biocharger optimizes your body's ability to make the best cells you can make. And I also do LifeWave patches, and that helps stem cells, helps build your body's stem cells, your own stem cells. So they go to the place of healing. Stem cells are undifferentiated. So I do a lot of things, and I do them because I have had a history of complete and total disability. I had neuro Lyme, I had dementia, I could not walk, I couldn't move my body. My husband had to take me, you know, carry me to the bathroom and to bed. And I don't remember those times because I couldn't form words. I couldn't think, I couldn't understand the calendar, I couldn't process. So now it's very important to me that I stay on par, you know, on top of my, not just on par, but on top of my health, and do the things that I need to do to maintain vitality. And I actually feel better than I did when I was 20. I was not a healthy 20. I just turned 47. So just a couple days ago.
I can attest to that. Remember last Saturday, we were both doing a health fair together. Yeah, like I was doing the health fair. I was just there to like say hello, everybody, you know, do my little dance. But you know, Audra is really the whiz, as you can tell behind this. But by the end of the day, I was going on to my next interview, what was it? I was leading worship somewhere, and Audra was bouncing up and down. She's like, "I have so much energy," and I was like, "I need to drink some water," because I hadn't eaten anything. And it was so funny, because you literally have, you are a fireball. But it's interesting to me, and I know we have to wrap it up in a few minutes, but so the story when you were so sick, was that what pushed you in the direction of holistic health practices? Because a lot of people know the health system. I like to refer to it as a sick care system, and I say that more confidently now because I have other nurses who refer to it as the sick care system. But is that why you started looking into holistic health to a greater degree because of the condition you were in?
So when I first got diagnosed, it came on the heels of a bad mammogram. And so my doctor didn't follow up with me. So I changed doctors and I ended up at a holistic wellness center with a naturopath who identified Lyme immediately in my symptom picture. And I've continued with thermography, and I have thermography in the center on a regular basis to monitor my own issues. And I highly recommend doing that as a monitoring, just to make sure it's non-diagnostic, but if any changes happen, you'll know it because of the heat of angiogenesis. And if tumors are starting and things like that, it does create heat. So you can identify that if people don't want to consistently and constantly go to mammography. And that's a complete personal choice. But by identifying the Lyme, there in that holistic center, they were able to do herbs and things like that, because I'd already seen the devastation with antibiotics in my youngest biological child. And I didn't want to repeat that immune devastation. So I chose to do herbs, and I chose to do ozone and bee venom. And it ultimately was bee venom that got me out of the brain fog and back to health. Yeah, it was a very painful, long process. It was a 2-year process. But throughout this whole time, and I have no idea, I can only say but God, I want to know everything. I want to know as much as possible. And that didn't leave me even in my fog. I would research in my fog. I would have to read things over and over and over again, but I was led. And that is the answer to the question you asked. I was led that this was divine. It was what I call a divine download, because the process of the things that I do were given, the name was given, the whole. And it bugs me because it's not in its entirety. The vision for here is not done. So it bothers me until it'll be done. So, and I have faith that it will, because he doesn't give you something to let it not work out. So anyway, that's how that happened. But with my education, I was doing women's health nurse practitioner training. I actually finished all of the didactic stuff. I needed clinical work, and I couldn't find a placement because I was not affiliated with a hospital at the time, and I was unvaccinated, and no preceptor would work with me. So I had to drop that. And actually that right after I made the decision to release my connection to the women's health nurse practitioner tract of my life, that's when the divine download happened. So the Lord kind of provided that gateway for me to still practice nursing, but also, to have other avenues. And I'm telling you, with Kangen, with the water hydration, cellular hydration, and the tools that I use here, I just see so much progress in the clients that I have. It kind of blows my mind what's happening to me and what I see in others. So I'm excited. Wow. I'm excited to see how, as clients start using the water more, and I do have a water membership so people can take the water home and use, a lot of the water in their lives and stay hydrated even when they're not here. So I can't wait for them to get it, that this water actually helps everything I do, and they can have it. They don't have to come here to get it. They can have it at home.
It's the foundation. It's the foundation. I mean, when you think that we're 75 to 80% water. Well, listen, right. I know
that molecularly they say 99%. Molecularly.
Oh, but now there's one more thing I wanted to ask you, and I know we're almost getting over there on time, but you said something about, and I'm not going to be able to remember. Everybody already here knows that I'm not sciencey. Like I'm like I'm like the business brain. I got the MBA, I love entrepreneurship, and I love like stepping people into their divine purpose, but I am not sciencey. And if you get too complicated for me, it goes right over my head. But didn't you say something about the structure of the water actually matches the structure of the cell? Is that the way you said it when you were talking about?
No, it's similar. It's structured. So it is, okay. So bulk water isn't. It's molecules of water just bouncing around and no particular form, right? It's a bit chaos. With Kangen, it structures itself, and it's similar to, not exactly Dr. Pollack's water, but what I think, and this is my own theory, I think there are many versions of structured water that we may not have even found yet, but this simulates that water, the water that I had already been, and I have the book here if anybody wants to kind of check it out, if anybody wants to geek out on Dr. Pollack's fourth phase. So it's not a solid, liquid, or gas, but it's actually a plasma gel crystalline type of water. So it's moving beyond solid, liquid, and vapor. So
well, I would love,
anyway.
if you're on Facebook and you're watching the replay, because we try and keep this really short, so we don't invite everybody onto Zoom. But if there's any questions from anyone who's there live, give us some hugs and some love. I can't believe I actually am asking for that, but it's really nice. And I know this for you, Audra, was like kind of you coming out to speak about water for the first time in this group. And we're hoping to hear you more, like do a water webinar coming up, because you just are a wealth of information, and we're just so excited that more people can learn about this amazing water and what you bring to the table. So are there any questions? And let me just check. Louise, you're so good at interacting. I don't think we have any questions, but if there are questions, write them in the group anyway. I'm going to just do a shout out to Tasha. We're hoping that Tasha and Brandon are going to share it with us maybe in a couple of weeks. But feel free to write those questions in the group, and we will get back to you with an answer. Notice I say we, it's not going to be me.
Well,
Don't
I just want to say
deep.
one more thing. When it comes to why I chose the water and how it potentiates everything I do, it helps everything I do work better. That also is true for chiropractors, acupuncturists, and energy workers. If you hydrate the cell and you electrify the cell with the negative ions, you actually can help your clients or patients experience a better result from the work that you do. And I just encourage any of those types to explore it. And if you want some, actually this water group has a lot of great research already at hand. There's a whole bank of knowledge to be had by going through those research studies. And I actually really enjoy doing that. So if you need any assistance and direction in looking at the research, I can share those things too. And when it comes to the memory of water, that's another thing that people have a hard time understanding or accepting, but it is scientifically proven that it can. And that's really super exciting. So.
And Audra said, and God said, not equating to God.
Don't do that.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to know where those research studies are, they're in the guides section. Go to the top of the group and go to guides, and you'll be able to see the research papers, which obviously Audra has looked after and looked over, and the other sciencey people are in there. I, of course, went right to the comp plan, just being honest. And
yeah,
I
don't even know. I am not that. I just want people to have the water. This is, there is a biophysicist that says this, and I can't think of her name off the top of my head right now for some reason. Yeah. And she says, when the question is asked, what should you drink? This is the answer.
This is the answer, yes. And if you ever think that, if you are drinking water, borrowing it from a friend, then just go watch Dr. Barry Orr. I'm sure I've put his video in here. Dr. Barry Orr, he will not even let his wife get him a glass of water from the kitchen and bring it into his office. If he's in his office, he's like, no, I'll get it right from the faucet. And it's funny because my son, my 16-year-old, he has always drunk a lot of soda. Ever since he's had a job, he can buy junk, and he does. And the other day, if he scratched himself like that, his whole body would inflame. And I saw it when we were on vacation. I'm like, Isaac, you look like you've just been in a battle. And it was inflammation. And he scratched his face the other day, and he came home, put Kangen water on it. It instantly went down. And so now he literally drinks. He's of course on 8.5, but he's drinking it right from the spout because of, right coming out of the end of the hose. So we've got to wrap it up, but Audra, would you come back and share more of your knowledge with us at some point in the near future?
Maybe.
Maybe. Oh, you tease.
You know how I love doing this.
I know.
And
yeah,
I'll be mortified with the replay when I watch it.
You're beautiful. You're absolutely beautiful. You shared your knowledge, you shared your gift, and we're just so thankful that you joined us. So that note, we're going to say bye to everybody on Facebook, right? #replay. If you have questions, post them in the group. If you're ready to buy a machine, reach out to the person who invited you to this group. It's so important that we don't share this group publicly. I'm just going to say this again because we can't say it enough. Don't just blast this group on your news feed and then we get 50 requests for people who want to join the group and we have no idea where they come. We want you to say, Audra Wilson invited the next 50 nurses that join this team to this group. Do you see what I'm saying? We want you to give a personal invitation because it makes it much, much easier as people come in knowing like who they're affiliated with. So on that note, have an amazing day, everybody. We love you all. We're here for a reason. It's for such a time as this. There are people who are looking not only for healing, but they're looking to step away from the matrix. They're looking to step into healthcare away from, say, big pharma. And, you know, we have some great solutions and some great resources in this group. So have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you again, Audra. I love you. I'm so honored that you chose to partner with me and with this amazing team that we're on, and have an amazing weekend. And I'm going to say, whoa, Shabbat Shalom to anyone else that's going to be celebrating soon. So on that note, let me stop the recording.